Hey guys, welcome back to the DWF. It's your host Dan WrestleFan here, and today we are going to take a look at another Mount Rushmore video. Let's move the camera in. There we go. Today we are doing another Mount Rushmore video, and today we are going to look at some of the best talkers in wrestling. These are some of the best guys on a mic, in my opinion. This was a very, very, very hard list to do because there's so many good talkers, but I try to narrow it down to who do I like the most? Who can I not get enough of? When they get a mic, who do I want to hear more from? And that's what we're going with today, is who can we not get enough of? And I'm also going to add some honorable mentions, just because there's so many that are just really, really good. But today we're going to try and do a Mount Rushmore with some controversial picks on here, but I want to hear what you guys think. So, without further ado, let's start with number 4, Chris Jericho. Since WWE's, since his time with his band Fozzy, since AEW, there's not been a moment of Chris Jericho's career. Would you stand, please? Thank you. I'm trying to give you props. You can at least stand for me for this. There's not been a time where Chris Jericho has not been entertaining to me. Whether it's through his band, through AEW, through WWE. Anytime he's had a microphone, I've preferred that to his wrestling. Not that his wrestling is bad, but just Chris Jericho with a microphone is brilliant. This is, I hope, in some other people's Mount Rushmore of best talkers, best, on the mic. Hopefully Chris Jericho's in other people's Mount Rushmores, but he's just been so captivating with a microphone. And he doesn't have as many iconic moments that you can point out as some other people coming up. Like, he doesn't have one particularly, like, oh, you're always going to remember this thing from Chris Jericho. Because all of his stuff has been so good that I don't think one sticks out above the others. He's just had such a good body of work on a microphone that I just think he easily deserves a spot in a Mount Rushmore. Moving on to number 3 from Chris Jericho, we've got John Cena. Another guy that before, I don't know if I would have put John Cena on this list before he came back in the SummerSlam 2 years ago now. But when he came back for that, I realized what the WWE was really missing. They don't have enough people who are really just that next level on the mic. They don't have enough guys that can really just talk. And it's sad that they don't, because I feel like promo, it's something you can do it or you can't cut a promo. You can either cut a promo or you can't cut a promo. Not much that you can teach with cutting a promo, but definitely something that you either can do it or you can't do it. And it seems like the people who do it and do it really, really well are getting older. And then there's kind of everybody else. So I think John Cena has earned his spot on this list for me at number 3, ahead of Chris Jericho. He's really good at, like, one of the big reasons he's on here, I love when he calls people out who forget their lines. Like, he called Roman Reigns out for forgetting his line. He called out The Rock for having to write it down on his hand. Like, John Cena is so good and so committed to the business that he can improv no problem. And that's something that only a true master of the mic can do. Easily why John Cena is on my list at number 3. At number 2, I couldn't decide. It was way too close between The Rock and Stone Cold. And I know this is where things are going to, this is where the controversy starts, right? Well, maybe John Cena being down at number 3 instead of number 2, but I don't know. Look, hear me out. The Rock and Stone Cold were both excellent in the ring. They truly grasped sports entertainment, and they understood it, and they knew everything there was to know about it, and they were excellent at it. However, I couldn't pick one who was better on the mic than the other. Right? The Rock's iconic. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Stone Cold's iconic what that is still used today. Like, there's just, and these guys both have a ton of memorable mic moments. Yeah, maybe they fumbled some lines sometimes, but any behind the scenes work that they did, any of the promos that they did behind the scenes, anything that they did in the ring on a mic, the whole Rock coming out with a guitar singing about John Cena's mom, like anything these guys did was just such classic that I could not get enough as a youth. And even as I grew up, I go back and watch them still. I cannot get enough of these two on the mic. Now, I don't know if their mic work is better than their in-ring work, but I don't like all of these guys. I like their mic skills, I think, a little bit better than I like their wrestling. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. You know what? Don't hold me to that statement, because now I'm thinking about some of the matches. I take that back completely. But their mic work is so good, and it's better than, again, better than most of the roster today. And here's two older guys who, make their cameos and their returns and stuff like that, but it's just a skill that's lost today, and that's why these two have earned their spot at number 2 on my list. And here we have a look at the honorable mentions: The Miz, Bayley, Paul Heyman, Becky Lynch, R-Truth, Alexa Bliss, Cody Rhodes, and of course MJF. Any of these could easily be in someone's Mount Rushmore, and I would have no complaints. Any of these characters are all excellent on the mic. Just really, 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 really good talkers, but not enough for me to make The Miz and MJF are probably the closest to out of all of these. I wanted to throw some ladies in because I didn't really have any ladies to add to the big man Mount Rushmore, mostly because it was a big man Mount Rushmore. But there are some good ladies on the mic. I could probably add Britt Baker to this, but she's not my favorite on the mic. But these are my runner-ups. I think Paul Heyman is great with a microphone. R-Truth is just so hilarious with a microphone. Truth, sorry you didn't make it on my Mount Rushmore. My bad. Cody's probably my weakest link here. He's good, but not great. So you know what? I'm actually going to remove Cody from my runner-ups. I don't think he's good enough to stand with the rest of these. Miz and MJF, the best two, in my opinion. But that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. We're moving on to the number 1 piece of my Mount Rushmore. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. My number 1 master of the mic is another two-way tie. That's right, guys. How do you pick? This is the man that I grew up watching and the man that got me back into wrestling in my adult life. These are two of my absolute favorites of all time. Both in my top 5 every single time. That never changes. These are two of the best ever. Two of the greatest on the mic. I grew up watching CM Punk. That was my middle school, high school, and part of college. I was just all about CM Punk, the greatest thing ever. I got out of wrestling for a couple years, got back into it right as The Shield was starting to debut, and Seth freaking Rollins, just back when he was Seth Rollins, as part of The Shield, kept me him and Dean Ambrose both kept me very interested. Roman was just, I liked Roman as part of The Shield, but he was just the quiet, tough guy. He didn't do anything except for throw the punches, hit the spears, he was the big man. But when Seth had his heel turn, everything after that, I loved him so much more. And easily, either one of these two could be the face of my Mount Rushmore. So I'll let you guys decide who goes on the Mount Rushmore. We can only have 4. We've got Chris Jericho / MJF / Miz, any of those 4. John Cena at number 3. The Rock or Stone Cold at number 2. And CM Punk or Seth Rollins at number 1. That is, I think, a really, really solid Mount Rushmore. The more I think about it, I can't remove. Chris Jericho's just had given enough time, this Mount Rushmore will probably change. and I'll probably drop Chris Jericho for MJF, but just the amount that I've seen with Chris Jericho, how good he's been consistently for the decades he's been doing this, it's not enough for MJF or The Miz to replace Chris Jericho, in my opinion. But that's why this is my Mount Rushmore. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below, or you guys can make a video with your figures, so show me who your Mount Rushmore is, and I'd love to check it out. Until then, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye!